Good evening and welcome to our webinar where we will be discussing how a pension account works and how it can unlock valuable benefits to secure your financial future. We will give everyone a few moments to join the webinar and we will commence shortly. Thank you for your patience. Okay, we'll get into things. My name's Jack Sheriff and I'm a member account specialist with Brighter Super. An important part of my role is guiding our valued members towards a comfortable retirement by giving them a better understanding of their superannuation account. We actually have Greg Leaney standing by as a moderator. Like myself, he's out on the field providing super health checks to members in different regions across Queensland. Say hello, Greg.
Well, thanks, Jack. Good evening, everyone. Looking forward to answering any questions that Jack doesn't cover off tonight. We do have a Q&A feature in the webinar tonight, so any questions, please fire them through. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a little bit of time to answer some further questions or queries towards the end of the webinar. But back to you, Jack.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Greg. Yeah, we are going to be covering off a lot of information tonight. So again, don't worry. We will hopefully have some time at the end to answer your questions. Brighter Super acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands we meet on today, and we pay our respect to elders past and present. We are proud to serve Queensland's 17 Indigenous councils, and we strive to provide positive outcomes for our members who identify as Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander. It's important to understand that the information and examples contained in the presentation are general in nature and have been prepared without taking into account your individual objectives, financial situations or needs. It is important when making decisions about your super options that you obtain the relevant product disclosure statement and target market determination and consider your own personal circumstances. You can access these documents in the Financial Services Guide from the Brighter Super website. Today's presentation will run for about an hour. Many of you have submitted questions which we have tried to incorporate into the presentation. You can also post questions in the Q&A tool during the presentation today, which we will aim to answer directly, as Greg mentioned before. Now, don't worry about taking too many notes. We will send you this recording in the coming days. So let's jump in and talk about pension accounts and how they operate. Retirement means different things to different people. Some of you might be in retirement now and thinking about, or thinking about retirement, or retirement might even be just approaching quite fast. Take a moment to think about how you want your retirement to look like. It might be the big overseas trip or exploring our own beautiful backyard. For others, it's all about family and friends, spending time with loved ones and grandparent duties just to keep a lot of people busy as they do. We are all different, and we all have a variety of ideas of what it might look like. Once you've got an idea, you might ask yourself, well, so when can I retire? This is the number one question I get asked from members. Well, the good news is that when you can finish work whenever you choose. However, you need to be able to fund your retirement. But when it comes to accessing your super, it starts with your date of birth. For those born after 1st of July 1964, your preservation age is 60. Great news, the thing about age 60 is that any funds you access from your super are tax-free. You don't pay tax, and that is not considered taxable income. So let me repeat that. It is very important. Funds from your super after age 60 are tax-free. It is, however, important to know that you are still paying tax on your investment earnings when you're in an accumulation account. Once in a pension account, there is no tax, and we will cover this in more detail later in tonight's presentation. Reaching a preservation age is one requirement, and the other requirement is that you need to meet a condition of release. Conditions of release include 1, permanent retirement, and that you don't intend to return to work in the future. So this doesn't mean you can never work again. It just means that at this point of time, you're not planning to work again in the future, but people's circumstances can change. 2, another condition of release is ceasing an employment arrangement after age 60. This means you don't need to declare retirement, you just need to cease a work arrangement. This may be switching from one employer to the other. Number 3. So number 3 is we have the ultimate condition of release, and that's when we turn age 65. Upon your 65th birthday, you've got full access to your super regardless if you're working or not. You do not need to retire or cease a work arrangement. All of your super can be accessed. Now, if you've reached a preservation age and are still working, you may be able to access your super via a transition to retirement pension account. It's also known as a TTR. We will go through a TTR in more detail later in tonight's presentation. Now, guys, if you are in a defined benefit account, the conditions of release are slightly different. Please touch base with us before you need to access money or are considering retirement. Now that you know when you can potentially access your super, the question is, at what age can you afford to retire? At Brighter Super, we have a range of calculators and services to help you answer this question. Under our resources tab in the member online, you can find our what age can I retire calculator and our retirement income calculator. These can help you understand if you're on track for retirement and how much you may need to fund it. We also offer a range of different advice options and a suite of in-person seminars and online webinars such as this one. We encourage you to regularly check our website for upcoming dates and topics. So, you've decided it's time to open a pension account. What's next? Before we go through how a pension account works and its benefits, let's start off with our first poll question. Are you thinking of opening a pension account this financial year? Right, so about half and half in the room, a little bit more in the yes, which is good to see. Those that are a no, it's still good to know what your options are leading up to retirement, whether that be in the next couple of years. But I'm very excited to hear that some of you are getting closer and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So let's get into the finer details, hey? So I think the first thing we need to do is actually take a step back and look at a higher level, the difference between an accumulation account and a pension account. So starting with your accumulation account, this is where your contributions from your employer and your additional salary sacrifice and also your after-tax contributions have been going during your working life. You have also chosen an investment option, which generates a return, which can help grow your super balance. But these are taxed up to 15%. When you have turned 60 and you meet a condition of release, you can access your super. You can make a lump sum withdrawals at any time to fund your lifestyle, or make ad hoc purchases, and these are tax-free. Another option is that some members choose is to move all or part of their accumulation balance to a pension account. Before we look at how this works, it's important to remember that a superannuation pension is different to a Centrelink pension. At this point, you may also be eligible for a retirement reward for retiring with us. When a Brighter Super member takes growth assets from their accumulation or their transition to retirement account, which are taxed, into a Brighter Super pension account, which is not taxed, no tax is paid when the assets are sold. This unpaid tax is then available to the member as a reward for retiring with us. Now, the current maximum you can move to a pension account under the transfer balance cap is $2 million. In a pension account, your super is still invested and receives investment returns just like in the accumulation phase. The difference, though, is that there is no tax on the investment returns. This means that in positive years, you could generally expect a higher return in the pension account compared to an accumulation account, which is in the same investment option. Just like the accumulation account, you're still able to make lump sum withdrawals and they are still tax-free. You may ask, so what's the downside? Well, you need to withdraw a minimum amount each year, which is set by your age and balance. So this minimum is recalculated at the 1st of July each year. Remembering now that you're in retirement, the amount that you withdraw effectively replaces the income you were receiving when working. The great news is just because you have to withdraw a minimum doesn't mean you have to spend it all. You could choose to keep it and save it or reinvest it, whatever you don't use. Remember that this minimum amount is tax-free, and you can also set a higher amount to meet the needs of your budget. I will go through the minimum percentages in a moment. The main takeaway when comparing an accumulation and a pension account is that the accumulation phase, there is still up to 15% tax on those investment earnings and no tax on withdrawals. But in the pension phase, there is no tax on investment earnings or withdrawals, and you're required to draw down a minimum amount each year. Let me show you the investment returns in action. I'm going to use the balanced option, which is one of our 11 investment options available to members in the both accumulation and the pension phase. It's important to note that this may not be the right option, or this may not be the option for you, and it is only intended as an example. As I mentioned on the previous slide, the main takeaway between accumulation and pension is that the investment returns in the pension phase are not taxed. Looking at the current performance over 5 years, you can see that when invested in the balanced option in the accumulation phase, the rate of return was 9.07% after fees and taxes. And in the pension phase, it is 1% higher, generating returns of 10.07% after fees. This is because of the tax-free nature of the pension account. When markets are providing negative returns, the pension account may not always outperform the accumulation option. So it's important to get advice to choose the investment option that's best for you. At Brighter Super, we offer a variety of super and pension investment options to suit our members. These range from the more defensive options in the yellow on the left, such as cash or stable option, our more diversified options, so that's in the blue, such as MySuper and Balanced. Now, MySuper isn't available in the pension phase. However, you can see on the screen that there are similar options available. There are high-risk options, and they're in the green, so they're such as our growth option. There is something to suit everyone's risk appetite, and you can choose multiple options. You can also change your investment option at any time. It's as easy as filling out as an investment switch through our member online portal. A helpful tool on our website is our investment risk calculator. This can be a great place to start to review your investment choice and understand your risk appetite. We are pleased to say that based on analysis of Super Ratings data, Brighter Super's balanced and growth options perform strongly, as you can see on the screen, which I'm sure provided a level of comfort for our retired members. At Brighter Super, the balanced and growth options play a significant role in the Retire Easy pension, and the balanced option is a default for pension members who actually do not make an investment choice. In the Brighter Super Investment Trends of 2024 Retirement Income Report, published in October, we actually saw that 2/3 of retirees are not sure if their super fund offers pension products. It's a bit of a shame given their these tax advantages, and most notably that investment earnings on the pension payments are tax-free, but also because they can withdraw part or all of their money at any time after age 60. So I've previously mentioned that you need to withdraw a minimum amount each year, and that minimum drawdown increases as you age, as you can see on the screen. For example, if a member was to establish a pension account at the start of a financial year with $500,000 at age 63, they must withdraw at least 4%, which is $20,000 in that financial year. This amount will be recalculated at the beginning of each financial year based on your age and the balance of your account. Let's look at how to set up a Brighter Super pension account. So at Brighter Super, we have two options. One for members who would like to tailor their pension account to suit their individual needs, and another which uses a pre-selected investment and payment options called our Retire Easy Pension. To tailor your own pension account, there are 4 steps. Step 1, decide how much you want to set up your pension account. A minimum amount of $20,000 is required. Step 2, choose your investment options. As previously mentioned, your super is still invested when it is in a pension account. You can change your investment strategy at any time. If you have chosen more than one investment option, you may want to have your portfolio rebalanced on a regular basis. You can choose to have your portfolio rebalanced quarterly, half-yearly, or yearly. Step 3 is to nominate the amount that you wish to receive. You can change this amount throughout the year as needed, as long as it meets or exceeds the minimum drawdown amount that's set by the government. The annual minimum is recalculated each year on 1 July based on your remaining balance. And finally, step 4, select the frequency of your payments. So whether that be fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, half yearly, or yearly. You can withdraw lump sum amounts as needed. However, these do not count towards your minimum drawdown requirement. If you would prefer a ready-made option, you may want to consider selecting Brighter Super's Retire Easy Pension. You may remember during COVID that the world experienced market volatility, something that you may have noticed, and we are facing again now. During this time, some members made a choice to move to cash, which allowed them to sleep better at night, but meant that they were not invested in the market when it recovered. This is why we developed Retire Easy. So Retire Easy uses an investment approach that may help members stay calm and steady during markets' ups and downs. This is because your money is invested using a popular investment model called the bucket strategy, which you can see on the screen. Each bucket uses one investment option, each with a different level of risk and return to suit the time frame, and together they provide a portfolio to support you in retirement. This product has been designed to help reduce the risk of your savings. This product has been designed to help reduce the risk of your savings running out or not keeping up with inflation. The investment options are automatically rebalanced annually, but the trustee can choose to delay automatic rebalancing during periods of market volatility. Your regular income is automatically set to the government's minimum amount required and is paid on the 28th of each month. After account setup, you can update your payment frequency from monthly to another payment frequency, as well as request additional lump sum payments. You can change your payment frequency quickly and easily via Member Online. So you've made it to retirement. We want to congratulate you. Brighter Super gives eligible members who open a pension account with us a reward. Once you've moved from your accumulation or transition to retirement pension account, you could be entitled to what's called the retirement reward. The amount you'll receive depends on your transfer amount into a pension account, and we have some examples on the screen. So how does it work? When a Brighter Super member takes growth assets from their accumulation or their transition to retirement pension account, which are taxed, into a Brighter Super pension account, which is not taxed, no tax is paid when the assets are sold. This unpaid tax is then available to the member as a reward for retiring with us. Please note there may be some rare times when assets are sold, when assets are not sold for a profit, in which case no tax is payable and no reward is available. Also, this would not apply to cash as does not earn capital gains tax. Furthermore, for further information and to see how this is calculated, please refer to our website. You'll find it under our retirement tab, or just type in retirement reward into the search bar at the top. So if you decide a pension account is right for you, there are two ways to apply. The quickest and easiest way is through Member Online. Simply click on Open a Pension Account from the left-hand side menu. From there, you can start your application, as you can see on screen. Alternatively, you can download the Pension Product Disclosure Statement, which also known as the Pension PDS, and complete the form at the end of the document. When you're applying, you have a choice of how you want to manage your investment and payment options. There are two options. One, choose our Retire Easy pension with pre-selected investment and pension payment options that automatically update over time. Or you may prefer to have more flexibility and choose your own investments and payment options and manage this yourself. We've discussed investment options tonight and how Brothers Super offers a wide range so you can make a choice that suits your needs. You can change your investments at no extra cost at any time. In addition to selecting your pension account type and investment strategy, we will ask for your preferred pension payments. So remembering it needs to be at least the minimum based on your age and the opening amount of your pension account. Two, we need bank account details for your pension payments. Your three is beneficiary in the event of your passing. And then also we need to verify your identity. If you'd like more information on our pension account options, you can also read our pension PDS. So we receive a lot of questions on pension accounts. So let's talk through the most common. Number one, so what happens if I go back to work? The great news is that you can retain your pension account and keep receiving your pension payments. As you've recommenced work, your employer may be required to pay super guaranteed payments. If you haven't retained your accumulation account, you are able to open a new account with us. If you're under the age of 65, these monies will be preserved until you meet a second condition of release, such as you leave that employment or once you reach 65. So what if I don't need the money from my pension? The great news is that you are not locked into a pension account, which includes the Retire Easy. You can close it at any time and transfer back all or part into the accumulation account. There are various reasons as to why you may do this. For example, you've gone back to work, and if you're considering this, I'd recommend that you get advice to ensure that you maximize the tax effective nature of a pension account. How do I add to my pension account? That's another really good question I always get asked. So you cannot add to a pension account. However, subject to contribution rules, you can open an accumulation account to make the contribution. Members sometimes do this if they come into an inheritance, funds from the sale of an asset, or in the previous example, just go back to work. You then have the option to open a second pension account, or you can take advantage of our pension reset. Simply, a pension reset allows you to roll back your existing pension balance into your accumulation, and from there, a new pension account with one total will be opened. To summarize this slide, the point I would like to make is that there is flexibility and you're not locked into a pension account. You still have options after you're retired. So let's take a moment to summarize the differences between an accumulation and a pension account. In an accumulation account, it's important to note that there is no requirement to draw down your funds. You can leave it in your accumulation account and you're not forced to access your super if you don't wish to. You've got the same investment options to choose from. You can make withdrawals and also contribute subject to contribution rules as discussed earlier. Any withdrawals after age 60 are tax-free. However, investment earnings on accumulation accounts can be taxed up to 15%. The second account we spoke about was the pension account. Upon meeting one of the conditions of release, you can draw an income from a pension account. With a pension account, a minimum payment is required over a year, and that minimum payment is based on your age and account balance, and there is no maximum amount. You're also able to withdraw a lump sum amount if needed, and importantly, investment earnings are tax-free. You can choose one type of account or a combination of both to suit your retirement needs. The good news is that you have flexibility as to how and when you want to access your super. So, if the pension account seems like it could be right for you, but you're not ready to retire just yet, you may want to consider a transition to retirement pension account. But put simply, a TTR account is a way for people to access funds once they reach their preservation age, but haven't met the conditions of release. It provides a way for a person to potentially access up to 10% of their balance in a financial year. So why would people use a TTR account? Number one is work less. A TTR account could help you cut back your work hours, and you can receive a regular TTR pension payments to supplement the income you have lost by working less. Number two, you may be able to use the funds to reduce debt by receiving additional income from a TTR without changing jobs or increasing your work hours. Number three, reduce tax and increase your super contributions. You may look at increasing your contributions to super, such as adding voluntary salary sacrifice contributions, and potentially make up the reduction in take-home pay with tax-free income from a transition to retirement account. And number four, if you wish to receive a lump sum payment, such as going on that dream holiday or renovating your kitchen, this could be the option for you. But please remember, by accessing your super prior to retirement, you need to consider the impact on your future retirement lifestyle. Let's have a look at how you set up a TTR account. So it's important to note that when you start a TTR account, the funds remain in super and sit alongside your existing accumulation account. So how it works? Step one, choose how much to invest. You need a minimum of $20,000 to start a Brighter Super TTR pension. Most members choose to keep your accumulation account open as they still may be receiving contributions from their employer or need to maintain insurance. Step two, your funds are still invested in a TTR account. You can choose from a range of investment options from lower to higher risk. Although this is called a TTR pension account, the investment returns are still taxed, just like an accumulation account. Step three, choose the amount you want to be paid. The maximum amount you can take from your TTR account per financial year is 10%, with the minimum being 4%. For example, if you needed to withdraw $10,000, you'd need to move a minimum of $100,000 to your transition to retirement or pension account, which equates to the maximum of 10% you are eligible to draw down. If you keep your TTR open into the new financial year, payments are recalculated on the 1st of July each year. In step four, choose your payment frequency. So payments can be made fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, half-yearly, or annually. For defined benefit members, this is a bit more complex. Talk to one of the Brighter Super staff if you'd like some more information. Let's have a look at how a TTR pension account may work for a Brighter Super member who is looking to reduce their working hours. Meet Tom. Tom is 60 and he is ready to ease into retirement. He has spoken to his employer and is planning on reducing his working hours to 3 days per week. He does need to maintain a similar level of income that he is currently receiving. In option A, he does not commence a TTR and continues to work full-time, receiving $70,000 a year before tax, which is approximately $56,000 after tax. In option B, he decided to set up a transition to retirement account. Based on advice he received and the amount he needs for his lifestyle, he transferred $180,000 from his accumulation into a TTR pension and elects to draw down the maximum 10% and have it drawn as a fortnightly income. He now receives a gross income of $42,000 annually from his employer, which is approximately $37,000 after tax, and an additional $18,000 tax-free from his super. In this example, we can see from option B, Tom would be able to maintain a similar level of income made up of a combination of before tax and tax-free income, which also being able to reduce his working hours. Now, this is just one example of using a TTR. The point is we want you to take away is that a TTR is flexible. It has a range of different purposes. So please reach out to us for further information and just to see if a TTR might be right for you. Now is a great time for another poll question. Before I get into the next poll question. For more information, head to our website, brightersuper.com.au or www.brightersuper.com.au. And under the resources tab in forms and info sheets, there is content on the TTR, along with considering retirement info sheet as well. So if you would like a deeper dive into some super topics such as TTR accounts, we actually hold regular webinars on this and another range of topics. One of my favorite features of the webinar is that if you register to attend or you're actually unable to go, we do email a recording so you can watch it in your own time and do not miss out. So please just visit our seminar and webinar page for more information. So now, great time for another poll question. Why are you looking to open a pension account? Awesome. So we've got a few different answers there. A little bit of debt, a bit of estate planning as well, which is good. Thinking about your loved ones, which is always nice. Transitioning to retirement, guys, it's a really good account. We do find a lot of members enjoying that account, but as you can see there, the income in retirement, it's exactly why we like to use these accounts to live the lifestyle that we need. So I'm glad a good portion of you are, or majority of you, should I say, are thinking of using this account. Okay, let's move along, shall we? So before we wrap up today, let's have a look at what else you may need to know. One of the last things to completing a pension account is that it is important to nominate a beneficiary and who your super goes to in the event of your passing, as you may now be at a stage where you have significant assets. Super funds can generally only pay to a dependent or your estate. Dependents are a spouse, child or children, financial dependent, or someone that you just share an independent relationship with. In relation to pension accounts, there are a couple of beneficiary nominations on the screen, so binding and reversionary nominations. A binding nomination legally binds Brighter Super to pay your death benefit to your nominated beneficiary or beneficiaries. There are two types, a lapsing and a non-lapsing. We have recently improved our services and you can now make a non-lapsing nomination online. We used to have the forms, and now it's online. A reversionary nomination is only available to those in a pension account, so it allows your beneficiary to receive your pension account payments in the event of your death. So following tonight's webinar, we encourage you to go home and check your current nomination, which can actually be found on your member online. So it is important to review this regularly. So as a part of our ongoing commitment to delivering exceptional value, we have reduced administration fees for most of our members in January. In fact, it is the third year in a row that we have lowered admin fees since the completion of the mergers in 2022. We've reduced total administration fees by 40%. That's right, 40%. As part of this commitment to lowering fees, we're actually excited to introduce our partner linking feature. So meaning two members can take advantage of a combined administration fee cap of $650 per financial year. The great news is that the partner linking is available on both accumulation and pension accounts. The partner linking can reduce administration fees for two members with a combined balance of over $464,286, and in the pension accounts or over of in the pension accounts of over $546,219. We go in the accumulation on the transition to retirement pension accounts. So again, combined balance of over $464,286 in the pension accounts, or over $546,219 in accumulation and transition to retirement pension accounts. So just have to have a combined balance of those ones. So if you're interested in partner linking, but the person you'd like to link isn't yet a Brighter Super member, you could consider our family and friends referral offer to invite them to join us. So if eligible, members can receive a $100 voucher for every family member or friend that you invite to Brighter Super. For this criteria and how to apply, just visit our website. Awesome. So Brighter Super offers a range of personal advice options suited to individual members' needs. If you're looking for specific information about making contributions, investment strategies, or insurance needs, the Super Advice team that we previously mentioned can assist. Two of the most common questions members ask as they approach retirement are, how much super do I need to retire? And how much, or do I have enough super? A retirement health check with one of our financial advisors will help you answer these questions. We also offer both a retirement health check and personal retirement advice services, provides advice on specific topics such as moving into a transition to retirement account or pension account. Retirement advice services takes a view of your personal superannuation and retirement financial situation to tailor advice to suit your individual needs. The cost will depend on complexity of the advice, and this cost can be deducted from your Brighter Super accumulation account. It's never too early to start planning for your future, so talk to us to find out how we can help. So we've covered off some great information today, and I hope it's been useful to you. Before we start a quick Q&A session, just a reminder of an incentive to open a pension account. Brighter Super gives eligible members who are moving from an accumulation or a transition to a retirement account to a pension account with us is a retirement reward. The amount you'll receive depends on your transfer amount into a pension account, but essentially, when a member takes growth assets from their accumulation or transition to retirement pension account, which are taxed, into a Brighter Super pension account, which is not taxed, no tax is paid when the assets are sold. This unpaid tax is then available to the member as reward for retiring with us. So, guys, we have tried to answer questions throughout the webinar today, but I will invite Greg back on screen to ask any questions we couldn't get to in the Q&A chat. Greg, did we receive any questions tonight?
Yeah, it's been quite busy in the Q&A feature tonight, Jack, and I'm not surprised. It's pensions, no doubt for you as well. When I'm out in the field, it's one of the hot topics and trying to understand the ins and outs of pensions. So I've tried to answer as many questions that I can, but there was, and thanks for the presentation, Jack. It was very thorough. It's as everyone can obviously hear and see, it's quite can be a complex topics, opening a pension account and the reasons and the pros and cons. So, of course, always utilise us here at Brighter Super for more personal advice. But just before I jump into the Q&A, I always have to give a general advice warning, as it's important to understand that similar to the webinar itself, the information and examples we give in this Q&A session are general in nature and have been prepared without taking into account, your individual objectives, financial situation, situation or needs. And there was two main topics that kept popping up in the pre-submitted questions and live today. And that is, can you essentially add to a pension account? And the technical answer is no, but what you have the option to do is put money, say you have surplus funds, you've got a pension account up and running, you want to add to that pension account, you would have to open a super account or have a super account that's open, add funds to the super account, and then essentially merge the super and pension into one larger pension account. But of course, make sure you utilize us for advice, because there are caps that you have to be mindful of when adding to a super account. The other big topic that kept coming up, Jack, was around pensions and the government age pension. And very generally, the answer to that question is once you reach age pension age, which essentially is age 67, whether you have a superannuation account or a pension account, that does get counted under the income and assets test for Centrelink purposes. But again, utilising us for advice, there are potential strategies to essentially shield some of those funds from Centrelink in a legal way. But again, it does depend on your personal circumstances. And I've just got one last one that I haven't been able to reply to, and Kathy asked this. The slides show a 1% difference in investment earnings between the pension and accumulation account. Does that 1% difference equate to the 15% tax savings in a pension account? And essentially that's right, Kathy. Remember, as Jack said, a super account, every dollar you earn potentially taxed up to 15%, whereas a pension account, every dollar you earn, it's 0% tax. So you could have the same investment option. One's potentially getting taxed up to 15%, where in pension phase it's getting taxed to zero. So it's always, when I'm in my meetings, I always show people, if possible, on our website, the investment returns for our, say, for example, our growth option in accumulation, as opposed to our growth option in pension. And you can clearly see the difference in the earnings, due to the pension not being taxed on earnings. Now, I think that's basically covered most of them. Jack, I'll hand back to you to finish up.
Thank you so much, Greg. And again, thanks to everyone for making Greg busy. Sometimes it's really nice to hear that you guys are interested in asking those questions and keeping him on his toes as well. But everyone, I just want to say thanks again for taking the time to come along and attend our webinar. We really appreciate your feedback to ensure that these webinars provide you with the information that you're actually most interested in. So on the screen now, you'll see a feedback pop up. So alternatively, you can just click the icon from the toolbar. There are a couple of short questions, including one to answer if you'd like one of the Brighter Super team, just to get in contact. But guys, thanks again for attending the webinar, and we hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much.